I do like Andrew, too. Trophy earned. Team building success, I think it
I've
said.
got 2 keys. Now, let's test them out.
Double the keys, double the fun. After I got the candle, met up with Beth in the break room, plan was unveiled. Make a key out of wax. Or plaster. While waiting for the devil to solidify, I got a chance to talk with Beth some more. The downtime even gave us a chance to talk about something other than the day's weirdness. Of course, now I got to test our handiwork. Back to Anne's room. Yes.
Be careful, Sophie. You don't want this key to break.
Oh no. Slowly? Okay. Aw, it turns into a little heart.
Unlike my favorite bar, this one was black. Her alliterative name will surely take you back. These two sure love their riddles.
In Atlanta, I noticed yours was pretty worn down. So I decided to buy you a new one. I hope you like it. And since you enjoy them so much, here's a little puzzle to figure out the combination. Two five-letter words are the key, both related to our history. From the first one, take the first two. From the last one, take the last two. Their favorite bar. Okay, so the White Cat Bar, right? And restaurant?
There's a lot of stuff in here. I don't think I've looked at everything yet.
I hope you get better. Try to rest today. I'll bring you some soup after class.
Huh. Marcella invited you to the movies. Let me guess. You said yes.
But of course, The Postman Always Rings Twice is playing at Lowe's Theater tonight. It's based on a novel I read a while back. I'm sure you would love it, seeing as how you love crime stories and murders so much. Nothing creepy about that. Will you come with me? On movie tickets, Lowe's Theater, Montreal, Canada. 25 cents admit. 25 cents. What a steal! I think. I can barely listen to Sister Miller's lecture today. In secret language. All I do is look at your lips and imagine kissing you. I can't wait for tonight. Oh, so they've been going at it for years. Well, that makes it sound like it's a bad thing. August 11th, 1946. Dear Anne, I've just heard Doris Day on the radio, and it made me think of you. I know how much you love Sentimental Journey. Counting every mile of railroad track, that takes me back. Lost time when I was in Texas. It felt like coming home. Now, strangely, I feel away from home. I wish you were here with me. I always feel at home in your arms. I can hardly believe it has been 5 weeks since we last saw each other. Sometimes I wonder if I might be going crazy. You're always in my head. Everything reminds me of you. Not only songs on the radio, but silly things like the flowers in our garden, that smell of your shampoo, or when people say the word darling. And I can hear you say it with your lovely French accent. Darling. My family seems to have noticed my odd behavior, but of course I cannot tell them about you, even though I wish I could. I feel like climbing on the roof of the tallest building in Austin and shouting my feelings for you at the top of my lungs. God, I sound like a giddy teenager in love for the first time. Maybe I am. Sometimes I'm scared that all this time with you was nothing but a dream too good to be true. I'm afraid that when I return to Montreal, I'll realize you never existed. Or if you do exist, you don't remember me. I wish I had a picture of the two of us, so I would know for sure it was real. I long for your embrace and the taste of your sweet lips. I love you. Well, here. That's a picture of you two, right? December 29th, 1947. Dear Anne, I'm sorry it took me so long to answer your last letter. Has it been 6 months already since I left Montreal? As you always say, les temps posés si vite. My parents are glad that I'm done with my studies. They always thought it was a strange idea for me to go to university. Now they want me to find a husband and have children like any other woman. I think I will. These past few months, I had a lot of time to reflect on a relationship. You know my feelings for you, and I hope you never forget how much I love you. But we cannot hide our heads in the sand any longer. We were lucky our story lasted as long as it did, and foolish to think it would last forever. Our love is forbidden, and hiding it from my family is proving more difficult every day. You will always have a special place in my heart, but I believe it is time for us to go our separate ways. You made me feel like a teenager. You made everything but the present disappear. Now I need to be an adult and think about the future. Sincerely, Marcella. Aww. That's so sad. Alright then. Now, where's the matchbook? Here. The White Cat. Bar and restaurant. I imagine that's a clue. Past, present, and future. 2 keys, letters back and forth. All the shared memories, neatly preserved for more than a decade. Anne and Marcella were in love, no doubt about that. But then, Marcella broke things off, feeling the burden of their secrets. She felt that if they parted ways and hid all this under lock and key, that she could have a normal life. Now Anne and Marcella are both here, at the Clarington, over a decade later in adjacent rooms. I don't think their story is over just yet. So, they didn't plan that? Or was this actually planned? Anne's riddle. According to one of the letters in the chest, Anne bought Marcella something that needs a 4-letter key to open. Could that be the case I found on Marcella's bed in 509? I need to figure out a 2 5-letter word, both related to Anne and Marcella's past. Unlike my favorite bar, this one was black. Her alternative name will surely take you back. And I need 2 5-letter words, so it's not just white, right? W-H-I-T. Yeah. So it's probably white, as in the white cat. But okay, I'm gonna call Beth. See if she can give me any hints. This is exciting!
Clarington Hotel reception desk. Beth speaking.
Hey, Beth. Got a minute?
For you, always Bean.
I opened the chest in room 507.
You did? Damn, I have to admit I didn't really believe in our little plaster key, but way to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised as well. It's quite sturdy.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Spill it. What's in the chest?
A riddle.
A riddle?
I think it was written by Mrs. Beaumont for Mrs. Cruz. And I think the answer will give me the combination for a case I found in room 509. I could use your help with it, though.
Oh, God, I hate riddles. Well, let's hear it. Which part is causing you trouble?
I think I have the favorite bar, the White Cat. But our alternative name,
Her alliterative name will surely take you
B-L-A-C-K.
back.
Well, obviously that would be black, right?
Andrew, you're a nerd. What's alliterative?
Hey,
Alliterative.
just because I read books doesn't mean I know everything.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's a series of words that start with the same sound or letters.
Thank you, darling. Did you get that, Bean?
Yeah.
I did.
Not sure where to look.
But that could mean a lot of things. I'm not sure where to look.
Yeah, me neither.
Tell her to look for a name and surname that both start with the same letter. Maybe it's someone famous, like a writer or a singer.
This must be Eugene with his daughter. He looks like a caring father.
I consulted the walkthrough again. I need to hover over the letter addressed to Doris Day. Well, it's not a letter to Doris Day, but it's a letter that mentions Doris Day. And then we gotta hover over the cat's collar.
Doris Day. That's an alliteration, isn't it? Doris. I-S. A cat named Greta. G-R.
What?
So GR from Greta and IS from Doris. Gree? Could that be the code for the case on the bed?
Oh, it's pronounced Gree.
It's worth a try.
Is that like a phrase in French? Unfortunately, I did not take French in high school. I wish I did. I find it more interesting than Spanish. Gree. Alright, what do you got in here? Oh, a typewriter. Trophy earned, my type of writer.
Novelist Bridget Boswell. Is actually you, Marcella?
What? February 4th, 1956. Dear Marcella, or should I say, Bridget. You know I prefer a good old crime story. But last week, I came upon a romance novel with an intriguing title, and they were roommates. I bought it on impulse at a train station and read it from cover to cover during the jury. Can you imagine my surprise when I recognized our story? You may have changed the names and locations, but all of our moments are there. Our endless discussions in the dorm room, our first date at the theater, our trip to Quebec City. You often said writers are thieves, but I never fully understood until now. It's been almost 10 years since I received this last letter. The one that painted our relationship as nothing more than a summer fling. At first, I couldn't believe you had written those words. Then I waited in vain for your answer, and had to accept your love for me had never been real. What? For many years, I was heartbroken, angry, confused. I questioned the nature of our feelings, our attraction, and made many wrong decisions. But this book, your book, am I foolish to think it's proof you really loved me? In any case, I hope you are well, and I'm happy to see you accomplished your dream of becoming a writer. Très sincèrement, A, says Anne.
Oh, Anne. Murder might be a bit much, but you deserve some kind of justice.
March 25th, 1956. Dear Marcella, I didn't expect you to reply to my letter, but I'm happy to see I was wrong. Your words have comforted me in a time of great distress. If only Louis was half the man you say Hector is. He has quite a temper, and hits me frequently. I'm willing to put up with it as long as he doesn't hurt Michael. But there are some days where it becomes almost unbearable. The other day, I dreamt of our first date. We were watching The Postman Only Rings Twice again. But suddenly, we were in the movie. You were Lana Turner, and I was John Garfield. And we were both plotting to kill my husband. I hate to admit it, but I almost hope it was premonitory. To answer your question, I do still have our box. My brother is currently in Atlanta for work, and I was thinking of going to see him with Michael next month. If you're able to meet me there, we could open the box together and laugh at all the silly things we thought important all those years ago. I hope to hear from you soon. P.S. Do you remember that secret language we invented so Sister Miller couldn't understand the notes we passed during her class? I still do. Aw.
I do like a happy ending. I just hope that's where your story is headed.
Me too. Maybe there's a place they can go where it's fine? August 10th. Dear Marcella, thank you for sending me a signed version of your latest novel. I think it's your greatest work. But I do have a few comments to help make the next one even better. First, I believe Rose should be more concerned with what she deserves than what her husband deserves. He may not deserve the pain she will cause by leaving him, but they both deserve to be happy, and they won't be as long as they remain together, as long as she doesn't listen to her own needs. Also, I think it would be great if your next novel ended on a more positive note. Imagine if Rose left her husband and rode into the sunset with Eve. Imagine if they went to New York or Los Angeles, someplace where people like us are tolerated. Imagine if they got to have their happy ending. It would be the best story ever. I hope you will consider it. P.S. I know you say invisibility protects us, but don't you wish to be seen sometimes? Wouldn't you like people to know you are Bridget Boswell, to recognize you on the street, to recognize you for your work? Why not publish your next novel under your own name? Well, I imagine Marcella used an alias for a reason. She's probably like me. She doesn't want to be recognized in public.
Oh, so you came to Montreal under the pretense of celebrating your wedding anniversary. But all along, you meant to reunite with Anne.
So they did do this on purpose. It wasn't just a coincidence. January 13th, 1958. Dear Marcella, I've left the house. I've left Lewis. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't lie anymore. How do you do it? How do you manage to live a double life? To hide your work and your novels from your husband? Wait, she has to do that? I had so much less to hide, and yet... Michael and I are staying at the Clarington, until we find a place to stay and the divorce is done. I don't know how long it will take. Could you come see me in Montreal? I really need you by my side right now. P.S. I wouldn't put it past Lewis to scour every hotel guest book in the region, looking for me under his surname. So I've registered under the name Beaumont. Okay.
After all this, turns out you're a fan of Bridget? Of Marcella? That's a lot sweeter than I expected.
September 27th, 1957. Although you don't know me, I think I can safely say I'm your biggest fan. Your novels have literally changed my life. After the war, I spent almost 10 years in a psychiatric hospital because of panic attacks. None of the treatments were working, and I wasn't getting any better. I became friends with one of the nurses, who started lending me books so I could pass the time. I didn't really like the first ones, but then I picked up Bridget Boswell's first novel, your novel. I had never read such a beautiful love story. It almost brought tears to my eyes. I immediately urged the nurse to get me more of your books. Believe it or not, the more I read them, the less panic attacks I had. The doctors thought it was their new medication finally working, but I knew the truth. Your novels gave me the courage to get in contact with Lindsay, a friend from the war. I'd always felt for him the same way your characters feel for each other. So Lindsay isn't even a woman, it's another guy. So Paul is also gay. Now I have, thanks to you. The thought of seeing him again is what motivated me to get better and leave the hospital. I hope to hear back from him soon. And then he found out that Lindsay had died. After my discharge, I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me. I've discovered Bridget was a pseudonym, so tracking you down took longer than I thought. Fortunately, I am very patient and a resourceful man, and I never give up. Do you think we could meet? I have so much to tell you, Paul. Okay, that's kind of creepy.
I'm glad you were able to open up to Marcella like this. Everyone needs someone to talk to.
Yeah, November 8th. Thank you for answering my letter. I realize how unsettling it must have been for you. Please forgive me for tricking your editor into giving me your address. I know I shouldn't have done that. I wanted to thank you as well for encouraging words considering Lindsay. I still haven't heard from him, and I'm starting to fear I might have had the wrong address. I wish I could take a train to Virginia, but that's not an option right now, as I can barely pay the rent. I guess I'll have to find a job. Well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do after after the war's done. As a kid, I dreamt of being an actor, a Hollywood star. I know it's a foolish dream, but what else can I do? What am I good of? I've tried getting some odd jobs recently, but employers turn me down as soon as they learn I've spent the last 10 years of my life. If it continues like this, I'll probably end up on the street like so many of my army buddies. Why am I even telling you all this? After reading your books and getting to know you through them, I tend to forget I'm only a stranger to you. I hope you don't mind. You seem to be a good listener, and I've been feeling rather lonely ever since I left the hospital. Anyway, please tell me more about your life, and do not hesitate to write long letters. I must have read your previous one 1,000 times already.
An advance on my salary. So Marcella hired you. But what for?
December 5th. I just received a letter from Lindsay's mother. She tells me he's dead. Words cannot even begin to describe how empty I feel. He died 2 years ago before I even sent my first letter. He will never know my feelings for him, and I will never know if he could have loved me back. I guess I should have known this would end in pain, just like your novels. I wish I had Lindsay's ability to find beauty everywhere, even during the war. Amidst the death and chaos, he would marvel at the forests of Germany, the sun, the birds. He loved birds so much. He could identify them by just listening to their song. I have to admit, your proposition took me by surprise. I was hesitant to leave home at first. I was afraid to miss Lindsay's answer. But now there's nothing keeping me here. I'm desperate for anything that would help me forget the pain. But I don't have enough money to make it to Texas. Do you think you could give me an advance on my salary? In spite of everything, I'm really excited to know I'll finally meet you. So Paul and Marcella have been in contact.
So,
And now he works for her.
Mrs. Beaumont and Mrs. Cruz are some kind of star-crossed lovers?
Seems like it, yeah. But I'm not sure whether they chose to meet here just to reconnect for a few days, or if there's something more to it.
The latter is more interesting.
May be able to help with that.
Really? How?
Oh, some mail arrived earlier for Mrs. Beaumont.
Really? I don't know if we should open it, man. I do wonder what's inside.
I wonder what's in it.
We could open it.
I mean, that's kinda illegal.
Okay, so then don't do it.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, too late. I've always known I would end up in prison one day.
So?
It's 3 train tickets. And,
For her,
there's
Marcella,
some
and
Penn,
Michael.
California.
California.
Well, it makes sense. It's much more progressive there than it is here.
So,
Right.
Anna and Marcella want to go there to live their love freely.
Anne and Marcella, huh? You 3 are best pals now?
No, the third ticket would be for her son.
Reading so much of their correspondence, I kind of feel like I know them, you know?
Yeah. But what about Mr. Morgan, though? I mean, Paul. How does he fit into all of this?
He was a fan of
Turns
Marcella,
out he's
apparently.
a big fan of Marcella.
Is she a celebrity or something?
More or less. She writes pulp fiction under a pseudonym. I think her books gave Paul a chance to get out of his own head while he was staying in a psychiatric hospital.
Huh, I see. He's still kind of a creep, though. Couldn't
Yeah, he could do better.
Fan mail? Stalking her like that. That's going too far. And why did he have those pictures of you, anyway?
I guess we'll never know for sure, but I don't think it was ever about me.
It's always been about Anne and Marcella.
Exactly.
Well, it feels a tad anticlimactic, but who needs drama, right?
At least it made our day pretty interesting.
It sure did. You know, after today, I think I get why you're so interested in the lives our guests lead. I try to forget they exist as soon as I'm done interacting with them. But once in a while, it's nice to remember that, well, even the most put-together person could be an absolute mess on the other side of the door.
And who are you behind closed doors?
What about you? Who is Beth Lambert when no one's looking?
I like to think that with me, what you see is what you get. But maybe an extra Snoopy super sleuth could uncover a few more layers. Maybe ones I didn't even know I had.
Challenge accepted.
Come see me when your shift ends, alright? We could leave together if you want.
Sure. If we're able to. With all
Yeah.
that snow, I'm thinking maybe we'll have no choice but to spend the night here.
Ooh, a sleepover. We could set up a pillow fort on the mezzanine.
A pillow fort? We do work in a hotel, you know. There are actual beds here.
I know, but isn't my way so much more fun?
Yeah, let's build a fort.
Could take a page out of Michael's book and decorate it, and then spend the night throwing stuff at Bernard whenever he comes through the lobby.
Oh, now you're talking.
I just have to finish my tasks for the day, and then I can leave.
Alright. All's well that ends well? Maybe. After looking at Marcella's typewriter case, I think everything's fallen into place. There are a few lingering questions, but I think this is as far as the story goes for now. Anne and Marcella arranged to be here at the same time so they could rekindle their relationship they'd started when they were in college. I really feel for them after spending the day learning their story. I hope it has a happy ending. Me too. But now we know who Mr. Beaumont is. It's not just Mr. Beaumont, it's Lewis. Go ahead and close that. Did I close the case? No, I didn't. Close it, please. Trying to give Marcella a heart attack? Or does the game want me to make sure that everything is all in place? Yeah, that's part of it.
That ringing. Sounds like the elevator doors are jammed.
Really? What? I don't know what to do. Who is that?
Mr. Cruz?
Oh, okay. Could have been worse, if I'm being honest. Yeah, he's gone.
Mr. Cruz.
Who killed him?
Oh god. Oh god. What Mr. Cruz's life insurance policy? Why did he have this on him?
This wasn't going to expire until 1978. Well, I can't throw it away.
Is this about Paul? Does that mean...
Dear Mr. Cruz, thank you for reporting that guest's unacceptable behavior. We will look into it as soon as possible. However, I regret to inform you that we can't divulge a guest's personal information, regardless of that guest's behavior. I'm sure you'll understand. We are very concerned with our guest's privacy, and our staff prides itself on its discretion. Please contact us should that guest bother you again. Yours sincerely, Bernard Ludek. Was that a normal power outage? Or did somebody cut the line?
I have to get the power back on.
No, you don't! What on earth happened? I was on the 5th floor, heard the elevator door ringing repeatedly. Check it out, find Hector's body in between the elevator doors. Checked his pulse, couldn't feel anything. 2 pieces of paper, a letter from Bernard, and a copy of his life insurance. My head is swirling with questions. What does it all mean? How'd this happen? Who could have done this to Hector? If this was, in fact, somebody else's doing. And the lights went out, as if the situation wasn't ominous enough. I need to get the power back running again, and then figure out what to do about poor Hector. May as well try fiddling with the fuse box in the janitor's closet.